And I think that's a lot of when you have a nascent industry like AI, right? Think back to blockchain, think back to .com, think back to, I don't know, when they first invented the buggy to put on a horse. I don't know. There's always going to be that rush in, right? I saw a comment today on LinkedIn referring to, the hype, the bubble of AI. And my comment back was, yeah, it's absolutely a bubble, but everyone knows it is. And if everyone is in on it, they understand that the fastest way to leadership in an industry or a new area of a concern is likely money, right? So you throw money at it, and you hope that you end up on top when things settle out, right? And if we all accept that, now we could get into the question of data centers and electricity and water. That's a whole other resource bubble question. I'm not talking about that. But simply the investment in the tools, we're going to have a lot of learning. And the people who learn quickly, fail fast, and iterate, they're going to be the ones in 6 months or a year that look like they've got the AI figured out. Well, they just failed faster than everybody else.
Exactly.
And sometimes
that's the key. Fail faster. Start moving. A lot of people will just sit there and plan and contemplate and analyze and refine, and then it's like, okay, well, did you make any sales? Are you generating revenue? No, we're one of the 95% that are going to fail. Your stat.
Do you know if anyone wants this? Find out.
Exactly.
Right.
So what are some of your go-to AI agents or LLMs that you rely on to? For example, the $35,000 job that you did. What did you rely on to solve that problem?
Yeah, so I have pretty much every subscription you can imagine when it comes to LLMs, and I like to test them because I am asked a lot of questions, in my consulting work and on podcasts and different things. So my primaries are Claude for content writing, posts, LinkedIn blog posts, things like that, and things that have to do with language processing. If I'm looking for more technical instruction, I usually go to ChatGPT. And there's been some issues with ChatGPT 5 versus 4. I'm a 4 guy, a 4.0 guy that wants it back.
Here you go.
Not for the emotional side of it, just I liked it better. Maybe it is emotional, we'll see. I do a lot of vibe coding. I'm very, very heavily into vibe coding in the last few months. It's really spoken to me as a way of very quickly iterating, failing, trying again.
Oh, yes. Sorry to interrupt, but the Agent Rage that I just showed on Base 44 vibe coding.
Oh yeah, Base 44. Yeah, that was an amazing story. How he sold his company to Wix or one of the big.
Oh, that's right, Wix.
Yeah, for like 44.
I think you're right.
$44 million or $1 billion. It was a wild story. And again, that's one of those stories where if you read the top headline, you're like, oh, just 6 months he built something, he sold it, and now he's rich. Well, no, that's like his third company, and he's probably failed 200 times prior that you don't see on the headline of Bloomberg. And that's what we miss a lot of times.
Yeah, because that doesn't make news.
It discouraged me very, early on. I was like, how am I the only one who's not wildly rich from AI yet? I'm like, well, it's been a few months, so no. And two, the people who have figured out a system and repurposed it to AI are probably the ones who failed before, and now they're being very successful very early.
Yeah, what I'm finding is developing products and capabilities is a lot easier, right? The barrier for entry is much lower. Before, you had to be a high-level programmer, you had to have people, you had to know how do you actually go through Kanban style or have basically sprints and all that kind of stuff under your belt. Now it's like one person, one night can just vibe code, and maybe you watch a couple of YouTube videos, but really it's just understanding what your end vision is, and then just like a visionary, like a CEO, kind of explain in good communication, and then the AI agent will just build it for you towards the end. But now that's where the challenge begins, right? And I think that leads into the 95% of people that fail, because now you have a product and then you don't know what to do. If you haven't run a business before, you haven't done distribution, e-commerce, you haven't done sales and customer success, then you sort of are holding this really nice shiny object, but you're like, what do I do with it? How do people actually pay me for this? And it's that last distribution, the last mile, that is quite challenging that people find.